My friends, in Jesus and Mary, abortion is one of the greatest tragedies of modern Western civilization, and it's not exclusive to the West. As we know, places like China and other parts of Asia are in many ways leading the world, but the United States is right there with them, sadly. And the only way we can remedy this is by telling the truth about it, convicting our hearts with it, and having conversions. And that comes through articulating what are the moral principles regarding abortion. Hello and welcome to Marycast. This is Dr. Mark Miravalle, Professor of Theology and Mariology at the Franciscan University of Steubenville. And I want to talk about just that, the moral principles which guide the issue of abortion. Now, in our last segment, we talked about the biological evidence from the moment of conception, that the unborn child is a unique genetic structure. He is an unborn person, and he deserves all the rights deserving of a person. It's somewhat interesting, although slightly inconsistent, that a child in the womb can legally inherit a will. But at the same time, the country is not saying the child is a person. It's not establishing the right of the unborn, but they say the unborn can inherit a will. Well, only a person can inherit a will, even a juridical person. But you can't just say a bunch of cells can inherit a will. So this is part of the inconsistency. Another inconsistency is when on the third floor we're doing beautiful, precise, profound intrauterine operations to save a kid at 4 months in the womb. The only problem is on the sixth floor, we've just aborted a kid at the very same age. That's a type of schizophrenia. And so we've got to make this right. And the only way we can make it right is through truth and moral principles that we follow. So let's go now to Revelation, and let's go to the Bible. And we know the fifth commandment. It is always wrong to directly kill an innocent human being. Okay? Always wrong to directly kill an innocent human being. So we're not talking about issues of war in this particular case. We're not even talking about issues of capital punishment in this particular case. We're talking about directly killing innocent human beings. And that's where we want to focus, because hundreds and thousands and millions of kids depends on this type of focus. We're talking about an unequivocal right to life for the unborn child because he's an innocent human being. So the moral considerations are as follows. These are the principles that Judeo-Christian Western living has lived for by well over 3 millennia. That you can't directly kill an innocent human being, and that there's no category of other things that in themselves justify the direct killing of an innocent human being. And I want to talk here about situations. And I want to say, as I preface these situations, as I'm talking about situations, I'm not talking about any lack of empathy to those individuals who have found themselves wanting under such situations. This is not a judgment of a heart. This is an establishment of fact, moral facts. So there's always mercy. There's always grace for those who have fallen. And if we want to take a good look at someone who's fallen, we look in the mirror. We've all fallen. We all haven't necessarily fallen to abortion, thanks be to God, but we all have fallen in our own area. So this is not a heart judgment. It's an establishment of truth. And that's where we have to start. And then it should lead to our own conviction of heart regarding the rightness or wrongness of this issue of abortion. So let's go to the specifics. Here's our premise again. It is always wrong to directly kill an innocent human being. And I'd like you to visualize a scale, okay? Scale, you know, the old scale, like on a law office, and it comes down and it's got the two different sides. In one side, I want you to envision an unborn child. Okay, so let's look at what goes into the other side. Okay, let's put something in the other side. First of all, let's put inconvenience. Okay, unborn child here, inconvenience here. Let's say it's significant inconvenience. Let's say that the life of this unborn child is going to prevent a decent wage or a decent standard of living, so perceived, because let's say that the excuse is, or let's say the premise is, that if I have this child, it's going to be so difficult for me to be able to even get enough food for the rest of my children. Okay? In some cases, especially in other parts of the world, this might be a viable issue. Can we directly kill an innocent human being for food? The answer, of course, is no. We can never directly kill an innocent human being, and you can't say for the sake of wanting to have more food at this table. Otherwise, and this is the model we're going to use through this whole ethical examination, otherwise you have to consider the person to be killed to be yourself. Let's say you're at table and you've got 4 or 5 people at the table, and someone at the table says, you know what, I'm hungrier, I wish I had more food, and I can see that the rest are hungrier, I think we're going to have to kill you and divvy up your food because it's the only way we can get a little bit more food. This would be outrageous. Even Nazi considerations of this would seem extreme. So that even Nazis would ponder such possibilities. So let alone civilized human beings saying, I'm a little bit more hungry, I want a second round, I'm going to kill you for your second round of food. Okay. So this is clear. We can't use food or convenience or even more warmth and shelter, as legitimate as those things are in themselves. You can't kill someone for them. Well, let's put something else in this scale over here. Okay, remember, kids over here, empty scales over here. Let's put career. Let's say that having a child at this time will take away your career possibility. Let's say you've worked very hard to get into a pre-med program and now you're with child, and that would take you out of the program for now and possibly for life. Or let's say you're advancing in a business career. Okay. You cannot directly kill an innocent human being for any career. That would be like going into your office on Monday and saying, you have a position I want, so I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to murder you so I can get your job. Obviously, this doesn't make sense. No career justifies the direct killing of an innocent human being. All right, let's now kick it up another notch. Let's talk about the issues of rape and incest. This is oftentimes being used today as grounds for abortion. Well, rape and incest, you're not going to make the woman go through with this child in case of rape and incest. Okay, so you got, again, unborn child over here, rape and incest over here. Now, examine this, my friends. When someone is raped, when you have the gross injustice, the hideous act of rape, you have an innocent person severely abused, severely violated. Why? Why would we want to now violate another innocent human being? Why would we want to violate another innocent human being in a way even more vile than the way this woman was violated? Violation begets more violation. We don't ever want to have that. And that's what would happen if, through rape or incest, you then killed a child in the womb. Would it be easy to have the child? Perhaps not. Perhaps very, very difficult. But you know what tests have shown, psychological tests have shown, that a woman who has an abortion, it takes 7 or 8 years for her even to come to terms with what she's done, and then typically there's 2 to 3 years of severe mourning or depression, if there's any acceptance at all of what they've done in taking away this fruit of their womb, the most fundamental element of womanhood and femininity in the order of motherhood. So, rape and incest is vile. It's evil. We have to pray to stop this, and we have to protect our women in every way we can. But to violate an unborn child in an even greater way does not solve the issue. And incest is just a form of domestic rape. So we always have to trust in God that we protect innocent human life. Now, we're going to stop here, and in our last segment, we're going to take on the greatest excuses, the greatest scenarios for abortion, and we're going to examine it from a moral perspective. This is Dr. Mark Miravalle saying thanks for being with us at MaryCast. God bless you.